Hey everybody, this is Tom Painter. Wanted to reach out to you. I've got my good friend Mr. Kurt Mortensen is in the house. We're going to be talking about a side hustle secrets. So step number 6, step number 1 is to turn a small business into a large business. Create a small business, and then number 6 is figure out how to get it into a large business. Number 4 is automatically invest. And as you're automatically investing, and I'm not telling you what to do with your money, I'm just telling you what to do with my money that I'm giving you. Most of that needs to go into your long-term investment account. Some of you want to buy crypto. I own crypto. It's part of my portfolio. I don't day trade with it. I just buy it for long term. Okay. And so we're going to talk a little bit about crypto and how that works, because this is a currency that does not use banks. It is traded basically between people all over the world. And it's all digital, and it's where people can see, and it's basically on this ledger. So I've got Kurt in the house, and we're going to talk a little bit about crypto. And again, I think that's something that is appropriate for you. And if you want to be able to be part of that, we'd love to have you there as well. Okay. All right, Josh, if you're there, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it.
All right, Success and
Let's see if
Money
we can if we can
World,
get Kurt on.
welcome back. All right, Success and Money
Looks like we might
World,
be having an
welcome
issue with Kurt
back
right
as
now.
we
All
talk a little
right,
bit more about
Schwab, you want,
crypto,
sorry, Josh, if you want to
Bitcoin,
come in and take him, that would
blockchain.
be great. So let's talk about crypto for a second. Crypto is very simple, very easy to be able to use. And Kurt, if you're ready, I'm going to have you take it away. Go ahead.
All right, Success and Money World, welcome back as we talk a little bit more about crypto, Bitcoin, blockchain, crypto made easy. These are things that you need to understand. Just like if someone didn't like the cell phone, it's too intrusive, it's not going away. This technology is not going away. Sometime, somehow, you need to get involved. Somehow, sometime, you need to understand it. So let's spend a little more time talking about the crypto, the industry, some of the things that are happening, some of the things that are going on. So again, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you, you need to understand this. You decide what you need to do your own research. My goal is to kind of simplify, demystify what's going on. I know your friends are talking about it. You've heard other people talking about it. This is just a piece of your portfolio, but this is the future. You need to understand this new technology. It's not going away. One of the things you can do is keep up to speed on the news. This is crypto.news. Let's see what's happening here. Let's see. It says here altcoin rally is coming. Grayscale, we talked about that ETF last week. We got a new Bitcoin ETP and the London Stock Exchange. Basically, through their stock market, they can now buy Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin exchange traded product on the London Stock Exchange. So interesting things happen if you want to keep up to speed. A lot of fun things happening. A lot of fun predictions in the market. But let's just talk about what's happening here, what's going on with this new technology. We've talked about this disruption, how things are changing, how Airbnb is the largest hotel company that doesn't own any hotels. Uber is the largest taxi service, doesn't own any taxis. Bitcoin, one of the largest world currencies, and there are no banks. This is a shift. This is this disruption. And when there's any disruption, people get tense, a little unhitched, a little unnerved, if you would, when they decided to use electricity instead of natural gas to light homes. People freaked out. Things are going to explode. When they went from horses to automobiles, people freaked out. When people went from regular mail to email, some people freaked out. There's just a disruption. A lot of that is people don't understand it. A lot of it is that people are going to miss out on income. Originally stockbrokers didn't like cryptocurrencies because they weren't getting income. Of course, the people that made horse saddles or horse buggies didn't like cars. That's part of the transition. It's interesting what some of the experts say. Mark Cuban, billionaire, says Bitcoin's better than gold. No worries about storing it. Easy to transfer, easy to trade, easy to convert. Doesn't require intermediary. Can be fractionalized. Meaning you don't need to get one Bitcoin. Just like any currency, you can have a $100 bill, a $50 bill, a nickel, a penny, depending on your currency. Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad Poor Dad says Bitcoin is booming. Bitcoin has the greatest upside. With the dollar dropping, Bitcoin and silver are the best investments. So you decide, how do you want to diversify? Things are changing. Let's talk about this technology of blockchain. What is this thing called blockchain? This is the tech behind Bitcoin and pretty much every cryptocurrency. So the blockchain is a chain of blocks that contain information. So every block has different information, maybe from the receiver, the sender. So they're different blocks. And these blocks are chained together, blockchain. So every 10, 15 minutes, let's say there's a new block, new information, everything that happened. And that is verified by other computers. And then once it's verified, it's there. It can't be changed. It's public. Everyone can see it. Now, we can't see who's making the transactions. For example, a bank, they don't show you their ledger. But the blockchain, it's public. So if we did it with a bank, you could see all the transactions, the deposits, the withdrawals. You can see all that's happening on the blockchain. Now, you don't know exactly who made that deposit withdrawal, but you know that it happened. And this is the core of this cryptocurrency technology. It's an online distributed ledger, a database that anyone can access at any time. Again, it's public. It's a chain of records or transactions, again, known as blocks. And the reason it's so secure is once that info or data is recorded on the blockchain, remember, it can't be changed. It's public. It's there forever. Multiple computers throughout the world have verified it. You can't counterfeit it. So the key to this is we can interact with each other. We don't have to know each other, trust each other. It always happens. It's always legitimate. We don't need a third party like a bank, like a banker, like a government. That's why it's so beautiful. It can't be altered. It's trustless. It just happens. Can't be counterfeited because multiple computers around the world have verified it. That's why Bitcoin, that network, has never been hacked. So basically, it's a collection of records that are linked together that are certified and validated by other computers, or what they call miners. So that's why we don't need a central authority, again, like the bank, like the government, like a Visa, like a PayPal. You don't need a third party to verify it. So blockchains can store different type of data. It could be medical data. It could be financial data. It could be personal data. Any type of data can be stored by the sender and the receiver. So these transactions are permanently engraved into this block. It's been certified. It's secure. It's been verified through those miners. It's secure. And again, it can be used for anything from voting to taxes to medical records to intellectual property to NFTs. All those things are part of this. That's just a big overview of the blockchain, why it's so important. And again, it's trustless. I can do business anywhere in the world. I don't need to know them. I don't need to trust them. I know it will happen through the blockchain. So now you know blockchain, cryptocurrency, that's any currency that uses cryptography or this blockchain. An altcoin is anything that's not Bitcoin. That's an alternative coin. We've talked a little bit about that. So that's known as an altcoin. We talked about Internet 3.0 last week. Remember, Internet 0, sending an email. Internet 1 was just a static website. Couldn't do anything but get information. We're now in Web 2. Web 3 is decentralized. We don't need to have just 3 or 4 or 5 companies running the Internet, owning the Internet, selling your data on the Internet. Now everyone can have a part of it. Ethereum's number 2. Now Bitcoin's a currency. That's all it does. You can spend it. People have been living on it. Ethereum's more the software backbone of a lot of the cryptocurrencies, allows them to do different things. So why they say Bitcoin's digital gold and Ethereum's that digital gas that runs a lot of the blockchains. And of course, there's Bitcoin. And it's hard to grasp sometimes, what is this thing called Bitcoin? It is a digital currency. What is currency? Well, anything that you can spend. Again, people have been living on cryptocurrencies for years. I have a debit card that spends Bitcoin. You can use it for transactions. So, and when we look at the history of money, money can have been a clamshell. It could be gold. It could be silver. It could be a variety of different things. For most of the history of the world, there weren't governments printing money. It was just whatever was worth. Is it a goat? Is it a cow? I'm going to trade you for this, whatever's valuable. That's how it worked. And the world has decided Bitcoin is worth X amount of dollars, and you can spend it. You can trade it with each other. Now, governments have taken over the role of printing money, being certifying the money. But of course, we know many governments are corrupt. Many governments are printing money, which is devaluing the money. And that's the beautiful thing about Bitcoin. There's only 21 million ever going to be in existence. That's not enough for one Bitcoin for every millionaire in the world. So it's scarce. You can't print more. And the world has decided it's valuable. In fact, over 20% of the people in the United States own some type of cryptocurrency. So why is it growing? Talked about those corrupt governments around the world, hyperinflation, printing the money. A lot of institutional investors are getting in, sharing it with having people putting it into their portfolio. And with the corrupt governments, that distrust is fueling this, and it's a good form of diversification for any portfolio. So Bitcoin, again, is a decentralized digital currency. So we've talked about currency. It's something you can spend, something you can live on. It's digital. You can send it through the internet. You don't have to hold on to it. In fact, most of the money in the world is digital. When countries decide to have, hey, let's add $1 billion to this, $1 billion to this, they don't print it. They just kind of magically put it in there. It's not printed. In decentralized meaning, you don't need a government. You don't need a bank to be able to do that. Anybody can do this peer-to-peer, person-to-person. So let's have a little fun with this. Let's play fact or fiction, because you've heard a lot of things. A lot of people say things. Do they know? Have they done their research? So let's play a little fact or fiction talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general, just so we can have a little fun, B, see where we're at, and C, get you on the right track as far as what is true. And of course, do your own research, not financial advice. You decide how and what to do. First one, you can't spend it. Now, we already know that's fiction. Like I said, I have a debit card that spends it. I can send it anywhere in the world in a matter of seconds. And that's another reason it's so popular is remittances. Sending money from country to country. Someone who's working in Dubai trying to send money to their family in Brazil, that's expensive. They take a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. Now, for 1/10 the cost and 10 times faster, you can send cryptocurrencies around the world, Bitcoin around the world. Well, I can't hold on to it. Well, that's true. I guess you could print out your keys if you needed to, but it's digital. Just like most of the money in the world is digital, you really can't hold on to it. That's true. It's digital. The world's going digital. This is a digital currency. All crypto is currency. And the answer is fiction. It's not. Bitcoin is a currency, but all crypto does a little bit different things. Some crypto, like we talked about Ethereum, is more of a software. It's an engine. Some of it is currency. Some of it is a commodity. Some of it is a security. Some of it is just a service that people use. And so this blockchain can be used for anything. That's why it's going to disrupt everything. It can be used for anything that you can do. You could do it through the blockchain where it's secure. You don't need a third party. It just happens. If someone came to your door trying to sell you stock, you're like, yeah, right. But now with blockchain, you can blockchain the stock or whatever finance you have. It's called DeFi, decentralized finance, and sell to everybody. And you know it's going to happen. There's no need for trust, no need to know the person. If I wanted to buy a house, I wouldn't have to meet the person. I wouldn't have to trust the person. If it was done through the blockchain, I know it would happen. Well, it's only used for drugs. Well, I'm going to say fiction on that one. There was a time when there was a website on the dark web that took Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies for drugs, for illegal drugs around the world. They've been shut down, but it was true. Just like the internet can be used for great good or great evil, cryptocurrencies can be used for great good and great evil. In fact, as you look at the different projects out there, there's some incredible ones, but there are some scams out there. Just like when .com started coming out, there were great websites and there were scam websites. You just have to keep your eyes open. But there was a time where it was used for drugs. It's been shut down. They don't do it anymore. So maybe there's a little fact in the history, but right now it is fiction. Well, it's not backed by a government. You should know this one, and this is a good thing. This is fact. I don't know if you heard about countries, for example, Greece took money out of people's bank account because they ran out of money. Your other countries with hyperinflation, corruption, printing money. Now a lot of governments are making their own cryptocurrencies because they know this is the trend. It's what's going to happen. So it's not backed by a government. It's not backed by a bank. It's pretty much just kind of owned by the people, owned by the internet, right? Who owns the internet? Well, no one does. It's the people that participate, that have servers. They own the internet. You can't say one entity owns the internet. And the same thing's true with Bitcoin or other blockchains. It's volatile, and that would be fact. It is volatile. And it's interesting when you look at the charts of Bitcoin, very similar to the charts of Amazon when they first started coming out. A lot of ups, lots of down. A lot of the dot-coms did the same type of thing. Now, it hasn't been as volatile lately, but it has been in the past. It was a new asset class. People are trying to figure it out. What is it worth? Just like the stock market, who figures what a stock's worth, what a company's worth? The public, the demand. And the same thing's true with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. How about, well, there's a limited amount. You know the answer to this one. It's fact. 21 million is all that will be available through Bitcoin. And again, people get stuck. Well, Bitcoin is so expensive. It's going up so fast. You don't have to own a whole Bitcoin. You could have a small piece. It's called a Satoshi, to where it could be a penny of Bitcoin. It could be 10 cents of Bitcoin. You don't have to purchase a whole Bitcoin and get stuck in that mindset. That's important to understand. So there is a limited amount. That's why it's so valuable. That's why it's become scarce. That's why it's inflation proof, because you can't make more. When you print more money, that's what inflation hits, and it reduces the value. You can't add $1 trillion to a monetary supply and don't think it's not going to affect the value and won't cause inflation. Well, it's only for geeks. I don't get it. It's too hard to understand. That's fiction. I've showed my mom how to do this, my brothers and sisters how to do this. If you can send an email, get on the internet, you can send cryptocurrency. You can buy cryptocurrency. Now, there was a time where it was kind of complicated, kind of weird. How do you do this? But there are plenty of places, plenty of exchanges, depending on the country that you're in, that pretty quickly you can get on. They'll do a KYC, know your customer, some background information, some information on you. Some are taking credit cards, some take debit cards. Some will withdraw from your bank account. There's a variety of ways to do that. It is so simple now compared to what it used to be. Well, it's too late to buy. It's already gone up. No. That's like saying about Apple stock or Berkshire Hathaway. No. Experts say it's going to go up. I mean, you can do your own research, do your own price predictions, but it's not too late. It is definitely the future. The wave of the tidal wave is just getting started, and don't get stuck on it's too late to buy. And that's true with the stock market too. You get in, and over time, historically, things have gone up. Remember what we said, don't wait to buy Bitcoin and wait. Again, I'm not giving you the price predictions, but you should look them up. They are off the charts. So again, that is fiction. Satoshi Nakamoto is unknown. We don't know who he is. Now let's give you a little background about Satoshi Nakamoto. That is the creator of Bitcoin. It is a made-up name. We have our suspicions, but really nobody knows who this person is. He had a little fear of governments coming after him, wanted to be anonymous. And that's kind of the mystery behind Bitcoin. Who created it? He just put it up on the internet. It runs itself. It's validated by the miners. You don't need a person to do that. So it doesn't matter we don't know who he is, but this is true. We have no idea who the creator of Bitcoin is. Came out in around 2008, 2009. That's when it first got started. The fastest growing asset class known to the world. But it's kind of that interesting tidbit where who is this person? They just set it up. I know it's hard to understand, but it pretty much runs on its own. It has the miners to validate it. That's part of the process too. But Satoshi Nakamoto is unknown. Bitcoin is dead. That, of course, is fiction. There's actually a website that just documents all the people who said Bitcoin is dead. It's happened over 400 times. People, oh, it's dead, it's dead, it's dead. You know, it's been volatile, it's gone up and down. But now with governments purchasing, institutional investors purchasing, economy's not as good as we want. It is far from dead. We are excited about the future and how well it is growing. What if the government bans Bitcoin? Well, some governments have tried. I mean, can you ban the internet? These are mostly governments that need full control over their people. I mean, they've tried it. I guess they could, but we don't see the government doing it. They're jumping on board. They've been buying and selling Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, working on their own cryptocurrencies. It's worth trillions of dollars. And governments run on taxes. And this is something they want to tax. With any investment that you get into, there's going to be some type of tax. They're going to want their tax money. That's part of it. Again, China's tried to ban it, but then they go back. It's okay here, okay in Hong Kong, okay. So they're going back and forth on that one. El Salvador's interesting. It's one of the countries that's claimed Bitcoin as one of their legal currencies. So there are a few countries that have started to do that. So I would say that could be fact and fiction. They could try, but it has so much momentum. They're going to want their tax dollars. You really can't ban the internet. I mean, you can try, but this is what the people want, and the government wants their taxes. So it could be fact. I mean, they could try, but I think it's mostly fiction. Warren Buffett hates Bitcoin, and that's a fact. He doesn't own any Bitcoin, doesn't own any cryptocurrency. He's been very vocal against it. Warren Buffett, the reason he became wealthy, he invests in things he understands, he knows. Underwear, insurance, Disneyland, easy, simple things. In fact, he didn't invest in the early days of the dot-com. Didn't get it, didn't understand it, didn't want to do it. And that's okay. That's his thing. That's what he does. His strategy, things I understand, things that other people understand. And this is a new tech. And as you know, going through this, it takes a little longer to understand exactly what is happening. Well, my banker said, my broker said, my uncle said, my aunt said. Well, I'm going to say probably fiction. Do your own research. Stockbrokers didn't like it at the beginning because they weren't getting a commission. Again, they didn't understand it, didn't know what it was doing. So do your own research is what I am saying. In fact, I had a friend, very successful in the stock market, multi-millionaire. And I was first getting to crypto about 6-7 years ago. And I said, hey, have you heard about this? Oh, it's a scam. You shouldn't do it. Are you crazy? It's a pyramid scheme and all these things. And I just kind of left with my head spinning. I'm like, really? This is a successful person. Well, fast forward 5 years and this person's like, okay, I was wrong. How do I get involved? Where do you do? Where do I go? That's why you do your own research. There are thousands of different types of cryptocurrencies and altcoins, and that's true. There's a lot of great projects out there, a lot of junk projects out there, scams out there too. Do be careful, but the trend, the tidal wave's starting, people are getting involved. There are thousands of altcoins. Some are digital property like NFTs, the non-fungible tokens like the digital baseball cards, the digital artwork, the digital music, the digital books. You can NFT a land deed. There's digital currencies like Bitcoin. There's digital platforms like Ethereum that does things like social media, DeFi, which is decentralized finance, or sometimes there's a hybrid that does a little bit of each. Remember, altcoins and blockchains can all do different things, and there are thousands of different projects that are starting up. People are jumping on board every day. You can get Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for free. You know the answer to this one, especially if you listened last week. It's true. We talked about internet browsers. Just for using them, you can earn cryptocurrency. Search engines using them, you get cryptocurrency. Social media, learn to earn. And even shopping, you can earn cryptocurrency. We talked about that last time. Absolutely, it's a fact. If you don't have a lot of money to invest, there are different actions you can take, from playing a game to completing a survey to posting content. You can earn cryptocurrency just for your time. So what is your homework? What do you need to do here? I know at first it's like, what's going on here? What is this stuff? I don't completely understand it, and that's okay. But pick one thing you want to learn about. Is it researching an exchange where you can purchase it? Just pick one of the things I talked about that intrigued you and do a little more research and find out about it, because it's not going away. Doesn't matter if you like the cell phone, didn't go away. Doesn't matter if you like the internet, not going away. Doesn't matter if you're a taxi driver and you don't like Uber, it's not going away. If you own a hotel, don't like Airbnb, it's not going away. You'll learn about it, you adapt. Those are some of this disruption. So that's your homework. Pick one thing, learn a little bit more about it. Know that it's not going away. Know that it takes a little time to understand this new tech. Again, when the internet first coming out, sending an email and social media and banking. How do I do this? How about that? It was a little hard to understand at first, but once you understand it, you're like, oh, that's easy. And the same thing is true with this. So there you go. There you have it. That's your homework. Learn something about this new industry, this new technology. Again, that's not going away. And tell two people, family, friends, enemies this week about the Success and Money Foundation. Grow your affiliate program. They will thank you for it. You're not only changing your life, your children's life, but you can change the lives of other people. So do it, make it happen, and go out and make the world a better place.
Thanks, Kurt. I want to talk to you just a little bit about and recap some of the things that he talks about. So, cryptocurrency is just another way to be able to move money or goods or services or contracts around the world using the internet to be able to do that. So, crypto by itself is can be treated like a currency. It's basically you can trade. People are trading dollars to yuan, whatever it is they're trading back, but they're have to going through banks and all these intermediaries is very expensive to do. So the purpose of Bitcoin is a faster, quicker way to be able to do that. So that's what it is. Now, because that's the way it is and it's being built by people and it does have extra value. Supply and demand, guys. It's all supply and demand. So you have so much supply and so much demand. So with Bitcoin, for example, there's only 21 million coins that will ever be created. And of the 21 million, that is the supply. That's it. And they're probably, I don't know how many they're at so far, but we'll just pull a number out of the air and say 15 million. They're going to continue to build that up till it is 21 million. That is the supply. That's it. As more and more organizations adapt to it and start trading it, and and so now you've got some ETFs, some big organizations like BlackRock and other ones that are starting to find a way that they can actually trade it because they make money off of it. They take a little slice off of every transaction that they do. So now the demand is getting bigger. The demand is getting bigger where the supply is right here. Now, if you're going to do something like crypto of 100% of your net worth, okay, you got if you were to draw a line, say, this is my net worth, there's 100% of that. Well, some of it might be your home, some of it might be your stocks, some of it might be your bonds. If you want to take a little bit of that money, and again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money, I'm just telling you what to do with my little bit of money. If you want to take a little bit of that, a small percentage of that, and if you were going to get into crypto, there's three areas that I would look at. Number one would be Bitcoin. Bitcoin's in marketing, we have a term for it. The firstest with the mostest. So they're the first one to really get into it. There is only 21 million of those coins will ever be created. And so there's a limited supply. As the demand gets bigger, then that supply gets more expensive. So I'd break it into three things. Number one, and this is how I'm doing it. Number one is Bitcoin. Number two is Ethereum. So if you want to have some money invested, I've got money invested in crypto. I have some money invested in Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is like the Microsoft Word. It's like the Microsoft DOS. It's the operating system for like on computers. Microsoft got in there and figured out how to be the operating system. So Ethereum for many of these other coins is that software. And so there's all these other coins that Kurt was talking about. They all many of them run off this software called Ethereum. So if you're gonna invest into let's say that you're going to take $10 of that, I would put three of it into Ethereum. I'd put three of it into Bitcoin. And then if you want to take the last four, and pick and choose, you can do that. But usually if you pick and choose, you lose. So I don't really recommend that. There's some high flyers, they're venture money. Some of it will go, some of it won't. But that's like the S&P 500. If you want to buy a single share of stock, if you want to buy a stock and pick and choose, it's very volatile. If you own 500 shares, then it's very stable. It might still go up, might still go down, but it's not going to have that massive swing of one. And the same is true with all these other coins. Just like there's 500 coins, or I don't know, I don't know how many, there's 5,000, 10,000 different stocks that you can buy. The same is true with coins. And so if you do want to pick and choose, I would recommend you do it with a small amount. Again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm just telling you what to do with our money if you choose to do that. Thanks for watching, everybody. We're going to